we are facing the most serious situation Connecticut has ever faced. And we are looking today at a budget and a budget alternative. I was very pleased when we began this session that the governor did take a realistic view of the financial situation of the state, didn't recommend any borrowing, didn't recommend any accounting gimmicks. I was also pleased at the process he undertook to go out and solicit input from the public all over the state. And I am grateful that we and our House and Senate Republican caucuses, representing a third of the state's people, were able to do the same. Very grateful for that opportunity to collect that input. And we collected it, and we came back and we developed a budget proposal. And I'd like to tell you what we heard. This is what the people we saw said to us. They said what our chairman, Representative Walker, said to me a few minutes ago. They said there is a recession. We are hurting. Families are hurting. People have lost jobs. There's more than 9% unemployment in this state, and yet we're paying the highest taxes in the country. What they told us was that people in Connecticut have given enough. They've given, and they feel that they are no longer getting anything back. It is like a bottomless pit. They don't want to hear any more about sacrifice, whether it's shared sacrifice, fair sacrifice, or any other kind of sacrifice. They've sacrificed their jobs. They can't take care of their parents who are retired here and can't afford to live here. Their children who have managed to become educated can't get jobs. And they're having to close their businesses one by one by one, 15,000 in the last couple of years. They want to hear not what they can give up, but what we can do in their government to create a climate where effort pays off, hard work pays off, and success and improvement for people are possible. So that's what we did. We put together a budget that doesn't spend more money on government and then raise taxes to cover it. There's no borrowing. There's a $1.2 billion cut in spending from this year, and there's no new taxes. Our budget restructures government for the long term. It preserves services for those who need them most. It protects families and small business owners from yet higher taxes, and it leaves funding for schools and our struggling towns intact. It lays a groundwork for the future of Connecticut and the people who live here. And yet today, we're asked to vote on a budget that increases spending by $480 million in the first year and $460 million, that's nearly $1 billion over 2 years, and raises taxes by more than $3 billion to pay for it. People have told us that asking for more sacrifice is too much. So that's why we're offering a real alternative that represents what our constituents told us they want. Despite the good intentions, as I'm sure everyone in this building, what at least 1/3 of the people in Connecticut feel is not perhaps being taken into account. I will be extremely disappointed, not for us, not for our caucuses. It's not we who count. It's the people we represent. And I'll be very disappointed if this assembly and this administration demonstrate to them willful disregard in not giving serious consideration to this proposal, which also takes into account what they've told us. I hope that we'll go forward in collaboration and that our ideas are taken into account, because that is the only way that this assembly will be behaving in a way that is in keeping with the principles of our democratic republic.